Finally, today is the day. It's the AFCON finals. In fact, it is the day that we showcase pure African football to the whole world. And not just football, African culture as well. In fact, it is two of the most informed teams on the continent. Senegal up against Morocco. In fact, the North against the West. I don't know where you are watching this video from. And I want to ask you, which team are you rooting for tonight? But it is with mixed feelings that I announce to you that today is going to be the last day that we see Sadio Mane on the field of play in an African Cup of Nations competition, as announced by himself. And at the Prince Abdallah Moli Hassan Stadium, a Congolese referee, Jean-Jacques Ngamondala, is going to be at the center. Interestingly, these two teams have never met in the history of the African Cup of Nations. Of course, Morocco are looking for their second trophy in 50 years since winning their first AFCON in 1976, but then lost in the finals in 2004 against the eventual host nation, Tunisia, for the Teranga Lions of Senegal. Now, Senegal also chasing their second AFCON title, but then it was their first in 2021 and they are in the finals again. Senegal, in the last 4 editions of the African Cup of Nations, this is their third final. So that tells you about their dominance and everything. Talking of the two teams, in fact, Morocco are unbeaten at home in 39 games. And they are the host country playing at home tonight. And that record dates back to 17 years ago. Since 2009, they've never lost in their home country. Today, they sit and play against Senegal, who are also unbeaten in competitive games in the last 27 matches. Also, the new coach for the Teranga Lions of Senegal, who won their local side against the host nation, a North African team in Algeria. For the coach, he has also never lost a game in competitive football since taking over from Aliou Cisse as the head coach for Teranga Lions of Senegal. And today he plays in a final against a host country. Deja vu or what? I don't know. But it's going to be interesting on the field of play. There's so much quality in terms of depth. And I tell you, today is today. Yassine Bonu versus Edouard Mendy. Not just that. Sadio Mane in attack against Hakimi. And again, Brahim Diaz for Morocco as well. Now you look at the two teams. If you've watched them in this very AFCON, you can clearly understand that Morocco is a very difficult side to break. Senegal as well. Now, Senegal played against even Egypt, and we saw a team that took total control, dominated the game, controlled and possessed very well, created some quality chances, and scored such beauty to make a difference. Talking of the Sadio Mane goal. And we've seen Morocco, a team that relies so much on their width. For Hakimi on the right side, again, in attack, there is Brahim Diaz. So when you look at their right channel, you see there's so much threat from that angle. So it's going to be interesting how Senegalese left channel of defense will be able to deal with the right side of attack of Morocco, Hakimi and Brahim Diaz operating through that flank. But then they also have an equally defensive team to be able to match up with them. Talking of El Hadji Malik Diop, their left back who plays for West Ham United. And in front of him, one of the best midfielders in this very competition, Papi Gueye. Now, should they be able to do that work? That is what will free Sadio Mane to always go to attack and then look for goals as well. Now, to be able to neutralize the right side or the right channel of attack for Morocco, it's something that I'm going to look out for tonight because it is never going to be an easy game. Now, for Morocco's left channel, that is where Nasser Mazraoui and then Abdel Ezazuri all operates from. And they are going to face Kripin Diatta and then Diarra. That is also going to be a very interesting and a key contest on that channel. So for the Atlas Lions, they rely so much on the flanks, on their width, and then crosses as well. So with the threat of Ayoub El Kabi, the aerial threat, the aerial ability, when crosses come and it's such high, I'm looking at how Senegal will be able to deal with him. Mamadou Sarr, Moussa Niakite, the two centre backs, because today there's not going to be Khalidou Koulibaly. Even if Ayoub El Kabi does not start this game or get substituted, you see if energy is equally good in the air as well. So I'm looking at how Senegal will be able to defend those high crosses that will be coming in from Morocco. Now, for Senegal, I think they have the strongest midfield, comparing Diarra, Papi Guy, Idrissa Gana Guy, to the midfield that they will be facing, Saibari, El Canous, and then the other player. So we look at them and you see that, yes, this game, for the midfield control, I think Senegal are going to control the game. But the dynamics is, Morocco are the host country, and they believe they play one of the best modern football, so they will love to control the game, particularly in front of their fans, who will be about 98 to 99% of those who are going to watch this game tonight. But this Senegalese team is also a team that is very comfortable in possession, and they create a lot. And I think it will help Morocco if they allow Senegal to keep the possession and then they work around it the other way. Now, if Morocco are not going to do that, that means that they are not going to be comfortable, because we've seen this Senegalese team fighting in with and without the ball, and that tells you how strong they are. Again, never underrate their front line. Eman Ndiaye is having a goal in this very tournament. Nicolas Jackson has scored 2 goals. Sadio Mane has also scored 2 goals. Even Idrissa Gana Guy is having 2 goals in this very tournament. So their team, in terms of scorers, is scattered across. So that tells you that this Senegalese team can score from anywhere, and that is what makes this game very interesting. Honestly, this is not a game that I'm going to predict, but it is a game that I've stated that I'm rooting for Senegal. It doesn't mean Morocco cannot win this game, but for my personal bias, I think I'm supporting Senegal to win this one. I don't know, which team are you rooting for tonight?